Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dream of owning a home or investing in one. Today's show is You Might Be Paying Too Much in Taxes. Yes, I see a lot of people on the road to home ownership thinking that saving money alone is going to help them. Saving money will help you, but it should not end there. You should also be looking into having an effective tax strategy so that you can keep more of the money that you actually make instead of giving it to Uncle Sam. Okay? And yes, Uncle Sam, you should definitely pay your taxes. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but some of you are paying too much. So here's what I think you should do. Here's what I did in order to have more money so that I could buy the property that I currently own and several others. Number one, you want to read more tax books. Yes, it's good to have a great accountant, especially a real estate accountant. But sometimes when you find a good accountant, there are times when they are busy, and especially if they're starting to grow their business, sometimes even they will overlook certain things. I remember before I even had the accountant that I have right now, I had another accountant do my taxes, and I saw something that looked like a mistake. Granted, I took only 1 or 2 accounting courses when I was in college. I was not an accounting major. I definitely did not take any courses in taxes, and I caught this error. I went back to them, showed them what I didn't feel comfortable with, and he realized that he made a mistake, he corrected it, and what have you. So ever since then, ever since that time period, I've gone to the library and I've taken out tax books and I've read tax books. I've also, when the web came out, because believe it or not, when I was in college, we didn't even have the internet. So I do visit irs.gov from time to time, sometimes to verify what someone else has said on a YouTube video and what have you. The next thing I do is, yes, I do peruse different videos on how to save money on taxes. And I'm glad that I did so, because in doing so, I realized that there were a lot of things that I was not telling the accountant that I should have told the accountant, that I didn't know to tell them. Like, I didn't know that when you give money in church, that was considered charity. I swear to you. So for years, I never reported it. And then sometimes there are things that, it didn't come to me that, yes, Lily, you should definitely deduct the following. Your internet. You work in computers, you work at home sometimes. You have to have high-speed internet. It is required on your job. You're using it at home, you're paying for it full price. Your company does not reimburse you. You need to take that bill and give that bill to your accountant. When you use the telephone, because I have to use the telephone when I'm working from home for my job. I also have to use the telephone for my business as well. So yes, those bills, I have to present them to the accountant. For a while, well, I was presenting the ones for the business, but I wasn't presenting the ones for my job. So I had to get that in my head. Next, I found out through actually an accountant on the internet, and then I verified with my own, is that if you go to several marketing conferences, That's also tax deductible if you are a business owner and you, whether you wish to or not, marketing is something that you're going to need. You're going to have to do. And I didn't realize this as well. Next, if you're sick, I didn't know that if you're sick, you should tell your accountant, especially if you were, like, let's say, on workman's comp or short-term disability. You actually get, there's a tax credit for that. I had no idea. And I was sick for like about 10 months or so and didn't know that I was supposed to tell him that. Next. Well, now we have been in hurricanes before, but they said that if the hurricane destroys your home or like messes it up to a certain extent, the casualty claims, you should definitely tell your accountant about that. Didn't know that. I didn't know that certain magazines, certain journals that you may have a subscription to that you have to pay for is tax deductible. And that's whether or not you have a business or not. So, for example, being that I'm in computers, if I have a magazine that is strictly for those in the computer industry, I am supposed to report that. I didn't know. Even my own book that I wrote, which is The Perils of Real Estate Scam Alert, I didn't realize until, I would say, 6 months after I wrote it, that that's tax deductible for people who are interested in getting into real estate. And it may double check with your accountant. It may also be tax deductible for those of you who are interested in being homeowners. So yeah, that was a surprise for me. Job hunting expense. I didn't know that that was a tax deduction. There have been times, even though it's been a long time, there have been times in the past when I have definitely looked for a job, never thought to count up the costs and give that to the accountant so that he could put that on my taxes. So yeah, there were a number of things that I was not clear of, that nobody told me. I had to learn on my own by going to the library, and now occasionally, now that we have the internet, go on irs.gov and also going to YouTube videos. And I double check, I verify though with my own accountant to make sure whatever is on a YouTube video and also whatever is in a book is legitimate or still current, because sometimes people give you information that's outdated. That's another thing. The other thing that I've learned, and I've learned this by being associated with certain people on Facebook in various Facebook groups, is that you should revisit your W-4 form every time your family dynamic changes, like when you get married, take care of a parent, get pregnant, etc. You should see if what you have on there still applies. You may want to just update that. Many people don't, you know. The next thing is you want to look at investing in different tax-free vehicles. Again, this is stuff I did not learn in school. This is stuff I learned by reading books in the library on my own and then speaking to several people. Some of the tax-free vehicles that you might want to consider are triple tax-free bonds, savings bonds, muni bonds, IRAs, 401ks, HSAs, which are healthcare savings account, ESAs, which is educational savings account that you would open up for your child. And also in today's world, we have the Opportunity Fund, which used to be called excuse me, which used to be considered Obama's promise zone. But since he's no longer in office, they're called opportunity funds. How you like that? So, yeah, these are a number of ways, and there might be even more ways that I'm not even familiar with. Actually, there is one other that just came to mind. Some pet owners, if your pet is a guard dog, if your pet does modeling, or if you wish to put them in the entertainment industry, and or if it's a service animal, I believe you can also write that off as a tax deduction as well. And many of you should probably consider doing that, because I know that pets definitely cost a lot of money. Oh, and yes, there are two other things that I forgot to mention. Moving expenses. And of course, there are some restrictions on that. It depends on how close you move to your job, but that can be tax deductible. And if you use YouTube for marketing, or if you have podcasts and you have to buy certain material, certain equipment in order to be effective in that area, that too can be tax deductible. But again, guys, I myself am not an accountant. So everything that I just told you, yes, I did the research for myself. Yes, I did speak to my own accountant, but you should speak to your own accountant and verify and make sure that applies to you, because I realize that all of us don't live in the same state and we don't all live in the same city. So maybe certain things are different. I don't think so really, but because everybody's situation and circumstance is not the same, still contact them and make sure, double check. Anyway, folks, that's all I have for you tonight. Hopefully, the information that I've just shared will help you make smart financial moves. Remember, please feel free to share this information with others, because each one, reach one, teaches at least one, but a lot of times it can go and teach many. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.